I don't know.
We can find
I'm
out.
gonna turn mine up and
live.
say.
You guys are live.
Okay.
Yay.
Oh, our picture.
Let's see if we can
Oh.
hear ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's do a little audio
Oh, we're
test.
live. Yes, we're
We're
gonna
doing
do
a little audio test.
Oh, I hear us.
It's working. Okay, so
All
the
right.
computer is muted.
Cool. Yes.
That means we won't get the back
feedback,
Back
right?
feed.
We
Yes.
can't have the feedback. We can't
feedback. I
have
said
the
back feed.
Back feed. It's all good. It's all right. So, how's everybody doing?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. I have a new member of my family, pardon. My executive director was talking to me.
You have a member of your family.
I have a new member of
Danielle?
my family.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
do?
I do. Yes. She's,
I'm just kidding. I've met that member.
yes,
Right.
She's 3 pounds now.
You talk. Oh, we're gonna bring her in. We're gonna bring her in. Sharing is caring.
Yes. She weighs a total of 3.1 pounds.
That's amazing.
Yes. Her first name is Yori.
Yori.
Her middle name is Treats. So we call
I
her
did not know
Yori
she-
Treats.
I didn't know her middle name was Treat. That's
She's
very
So precious.
She's coming. She's
Oh, she's
about to make
coming.
her
Dun, dun,
debut. And here she is. It's my Yuri. Yuri, smile for the camera. Yes, so she's our little Yuri treat.
Yeah.
Little Yuri treat.
All right. So you have a new.
So needless to say, the whole household is embracing Yuri.
Yeah.
Embracing.
We're embracing Yuri, and they didn't like her first. Other dogs did not like her at first.
Oh, the other dog.
They did
Yes.
not like her at first. It's
Because Danielle has two
other dogs, total of 3 now. I don't know who this woman is.
She's a dog mom.
Yes, I'm a dog mom. That might have been my first mistake.
Clever.
Might have been, yeah.
Very clever.
So anywho, they're finally starting to play with her and love her.
Hey,
and
Elisa.
sweet.
Hey, Elisa.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Lisa still has to come meet Yuri.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, she's
At least
amazing.
hopefully you saw Yuri on camera. If not, you have to scroll back.
Yeah.
She
So
was on camera.
life is amazing.
Life is
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. How about you, Daria?
We're getting ready for the Thanksgiving.
it is here.
Yes.
Thanksgiving week.
Getting ready. And what does that look like? It looks like determining who has the hot potato this year.
Hot potato.
We don't
Okay.
have a stable tradition at this
Oh.
point.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Well, that could be
I
funny.
just know I'm not hosting.
Okay.
Which is
You're not
wonderful.
hosting. Okay.
That
No,
is
but
wonderful.
I can easily purchase and bring things like this.
Oh.
If you notice here, we have a lemon cake,
Yes.
and we'll be having this later.
Yeah.
But
Rizzo.
yes, I'm very good at picking things up and
Yes.
bringing them.
Well, so that's interesting because we don't nobody hosts in our family. We go out to eat now. So this is our 4th year eating out. So we're changing it up a bit, taking the stress off of the elders. They didn't necessarily want to give to the next generation. They said, how about we go out to eat? So that's what we're doing. We're eating out. And believe it or not, it's really hard to get a reservation. There are a lot of people who eat out.
That's true.
And there's different price points from Capital Grill to
Capital Grill does Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
I did not know
Yes.
that.
I have a friend who's having Thanksgiving there with a party of 6.
Oh,
At
Lisa is like, what's on our arms?
there's matching sweatshirts.
It's just a part of the sweatshirt design.
Yeah.
Lisa,
Yeah.
this is not. It almost looks military, almost
Yeah.
like we have armbands, like
But-
military armbands.
Well, we
But
But anyway, go ahead.
yes, no. So anyway, so that's what's happening. So it is the Thanksgiving week, and I just thought randomly today about it's so nice when you can have like a drink, appetizer with like your friends. Like the Friendsgiving concept is really
Yes.
big right now.
Yes.
And it just feels like it's a compressed week.
Yes.
And people are still working. And so I'm hopeful that I find some time to carve out with some friends and loved ones, because then it'll be the holiday.
The holiday.
The holiday. And then we launch into the holidays.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
So
yes.
I just sent to Daria and Danielle, and if you want me to, everyone who's watching, I can send to you the Hallmark movie.
Yes.
Did you see the schedule?
The whole schedule.
The
of
whole schedule. I
Hallmark
sent it
movies,
because a friend of mine, Jen, who I work with, she sent it to me today and said, everybody needs to get in. Grab hold of the
Yeah.
Hallmark movies.
Somebody will have to
Grab
tell me
hold.
about that. As I get old, I really legit have ADHD. If it is longer than 22 minutes,
You're not watching,
I'm
right?
just done.
Yeah, these are the Hallmark Channel had launched.
But maybe I'll try a movie and see.
Well, they
It's
launched
launched.
before.
I thought they had it before.
Well, it
No?
started on October 26th. The movies.
Oh,
The Christmas movie
movies.
started
Okay.
on actually October 26th.
Yeah, that
So
makes
if
sense.
And it all goes to the 28th of December.
Okay.
So you every day, if you have the Hallmark network, can get a little
I will
Christmas.
Preview it.
Yeah.
Is it on the Disney thing? We have the Disney bundle now. that
I don't know if the Hallmark network.
You bought Disney Plus.
my husband did.
I
have Disney Plus
My
too.
husband.
Yes,
did.
yeah.
I
have
don't watch
Disney Plus
TV.
too.
I could be fine with nothing.
But we have Disney Plus too.
But
and
I'm sure
very
it's amazing.
popular.
The children were very excited.
Very excited.
Very
My
excited.
kids were
I'm
very
gonna have to
excited.
do it. I'm gonna have to bite
Yeah.
the bullet.
It
so-
costs
Yeah.
us an additional penny, but we don't have regular cable.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just Hulu Live, and then it switched to Disney.
If you have
You
a,
cut the cord.
We've been.
yeah, they
yes.
had cut the cord
Yeah.
a while ago, but
I don't watch TV.
Elisa and others
Yeah.
watching, have you also cut the cord? What is happening?
I have not because
Okay.
my husband needs the sports package.
Oh,
Sports package. So
That's so important.
we are limited, but that's his outlet. You know,
Yeah.
I've got this
Yes.
and
Yeah.
massages, and he has that.
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, you have that balance.
That's Larry's
you know?
entertainment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I have book club. I
right.
have massages. I
Yeah.
have pedicures. I have
Right.
everything.
Friends.
friends,
Friends. Friendsgiving.
yes, many
So if he
multiple holidays.
wants whatever he wants on that
Yeah.
TV, he can have
Exactly.
it. Mhm.
Right.
Elisa has not cut the cord either.
Probably
Yeah.
because of her husband.
Probably her.
Um,
Yeah, your husband probably likes the sports too, right, Lisa?
We
It's a
agree that it is a
monopoly.
monopoly, Elisa. It's
Yeah.
definitely a monopoly, and they have way too much
Do you have
control.
Comcast?
I do.
So
Ooh.
you can access the Disney Plus. I think you can talk to Carter about it. I think it might have been free or included, or he swapped something out.
Netflix is now free. You might have
It
a
is?
choice in the bundle that I have. I was
okay.
able to remove my Netflix fees, and that
Oh.
has created room for Disney Plus.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, so now everybody in my family would have an uproar if we removed
Especially
the
with having
Netflix.
boys, you should get. They have all the
Yeah.
Star Wars, all the
Yeah,
right,
Avatar
yeah,
things.
Yeah,
We'll
they,
do it.
they don't use Netflix as much.
Yeah.
They don't. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's smart.
Well,
Yeah.
I do.
I love my Netflix.
I love Netflix,
Yeah.
and I think I like Disney Plus. So I do need both.
I really. I mean, it's really like it's
It's
entertainment.
hard not to have both.
When you look at your budget though for like entertainment, like it's a hard one.
Larry said, "Cutting the cord is what's up." Yes, we hear you. Larry.
Oh,
We
Larry,
hear you.
thanks for tuning in,
Yeah.
Thank
Larry.
you for chiming in.
Yeah.
Oh,
You are correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what else? What
So
else is
what-
there? Oh,
oh.
you know what? Who just had the last birthday amongst us?
Me.
Well, you might need a belated birthday gift.
Oh, do I?
Oh.
You might need a belated birthday gift
Oh my
on
gosh.
screen. I wonder
Sorry, yeah.
what it
This
is.
is so
I
fun.
wonder.
Oh, I know
Okay.
what it is.
Wait.
Oh.
What is it?
Oh.
Unicorn
These
gang,
are
unicorn gang.
unicorn ice cube trays.
Oh, that's
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh,
Oh.
So wait, I can't claim full responsibility for this because
Alana.
the person who found that is Alana.
I'm sure.
Alana.
Oh.
Yes, and she's like, you have to get this for
Oh.
Keisha.
Oh,
that's
this
nice.
is
That is
very
nice.
nice. I will use
The
this.
expectations that you bring us ice cubes for all
Yes,
our book
me-
clubs.
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay.
Isn't that
That'd
the
be
best?
unicorn money.
Unicorn
And
ones.
the tray is also shaped like a
I
unicorn.
mean, this is really awesome.
That's amazing.
I have the perfect place. Thank you, thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
yes.
Part of the unicorn. We have a little thing here, our little group with the unicorns. I love it. Thank you.
Yay.
I will do my best to bring them when we're live. Yes, I like that.
Oh, Elisa said, can we explain the unicorn thing quickly?
Yes.
How did it start, Danielle?
Danielle.
Okay, so I gave my daughter the task of buying candles, just normal candles for my mother's birthday. I believe it was my mom's birthday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for my mother's birthday. And her and Carter, Keisha's son, go into Whole Foods and come out with like a big unicorn candle. And we just found it so funny. It was just like, what made you make a unicorn candle for your grandmother's 73rd birthday? And then Daria's like, you know what? That's our theme.
Yeah.
Like from now on, it's and every
Everybody's
birthday-
getting unicorns.
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone gets unicorns. It's not a
Unicorns.
birthday without a unicorn.
Right.
And then Keisha said she didn't get a unicorn, so we said
Right.
we have to fix that.
Because I wasn't at the original inception. And I think,
Yeah.
but now listen, I celebrate my birthday like a long time. So we're
Yeah.
still in the,
Yes.
still
The
in
season. The birthday.
Yes.
Because it hasn't hit Thanksgiving yet. So
It is not.
all good. All good. That's
Yeah,
I
good.
wanted to throw out my pumpkins, and Larry said no. It's still like
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, but I'm ready
Harvest
for
season.
Harvest
it is,
season,
but I
Yes.
want my bells up, my Christmas.
You're ready to go
stuff. I want
Christmas.
I do.
Black Friday. Do
But
it
I
on
think
Black
as I'm getting
Friday.
Because she
older,
won't be here.
I'm ready
though.
to like do it
Yeah.
October 31st. Like just
Right.
put up Christmas.
Just extend the holiday season.
Yes.
The season
it goes
is
by
beautiful.
so quickly when
I
you're
have-
older.
And I have so many shirts. I'm getting 2 additional Christmas
Aw.
shirts. So I try to wear shirts like at least
I want
twice
a
a
shirt.
week.
We should get a
Holiday
shirt.
shirts.
A
Yeah,
lot
of
of
course.
does that too. That's so
I have
funny.
a whole bin.
Must
A
be a
holiday theme.
Scorpio thing.
That's right. Alana, thinking about you. Yeah, I have a bin of holiday happenings.
Aw.
Yes. So you should think about getting
I'm gonna work on it.
well, last year we had some holiday gear for the holiday party.
We got
in
ugly
Pennsylvania.
sweaters.
We
Ugly
did.
sweater.
That was
So that was
fun.
you, but
That
you still
was fun.
incorporated. I still
Our
have
next
that one.
book group, let's do ugly
Oh, well,
sweaters.
just-
Good idea.
Absolutely. And we were going to be reading a holiday book. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So, you know, we
Excellent.
should. Ugly
Excellent.
sweater. Check. Got that. You know?
Did we read a book this month?
Right. So I guess we should get started because
Okay.
what time is it? And we are on at a different time. So
Mhm.
it's 10 after the hour. So we can go ahead and get started
So yeah, thanks for joining in. We did
Yes.
have to book a new time because you know
just for today.
they travel. They're all over the
Yes.
world traveling with their jobs. Their
Yeah.
place of employment is wherever they are at the moment.
You
So-
saw my last video. I was in Detroit. I got home Thursday afternoon. I mean, it is what it is,
And my
right?
last one was in San Francisco.
In San Francisco. So, you know.
Mine was last in Pemberton. So you know wherever you are, it's
Right.
wonderful. So thank you for joining in. Now, if you join in later, it's fine. You know,
Yeah, of
we,
course.
We love views and comments. You know,
Yes.
give us your thoughts.
And we appreciate flexibility. I mean, we'll go back to Thursday in December, but we just figured we try it out, and we didn't want to go without seeing all of you
Yes,
and sharing.
yes.
So-
Looking forward.
Yes. So the first mistake by Sandie Jones.
Her
Wow.
second book. It was her second book, right?
So let's start with the question of the moment. Did you like the book?
Let's start with Dark.
Should I
You
start?
should start with me. We should start with you this time.
Oh, well, did I like the book? I mean, this book had me guessing a lot. I was writing down all kinds of theories about how it might end. I was very curious to know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, I liked the book. Although it got a little confusing at the end, like a little too confusing, a little somewhat cliche. So I wish that it had wrapped up in, I guess, a little bit less confusing a way. Just so that I wasn't like having to go back to my notes to figure out what the heck was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Danielle.
I did like the book. It definitely kept me entertained the whole time. I loved it. I loved it not because of the storyline or what happened, just because like I enjoyed reading it. It was like once I started,
Yeah.
I wanted to keep going. Like we were away in Atlanta, and like every free minute, I was like, okay, time to put my headphones and listen. Time to listen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, I did. I like reading when you like enjoy the book.
Yeah.
Sure.
And nothing was like scary or kept me up at night.
Nothing
or
like the
nothing
last
like
book.
sick and nasty.
Yeah, the
where it's
last
like
book
messing up
was-
your
Yeah, the
mind.
last book was.
Yeah, this was just like enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
I like the book. I did like the twists and turns. I felt like, there were a couple loose ends I would have liked to, button up. But I guess that's because, they want you to kind of think more about it, right?
Mhm.
So I had questions. But I did like the book. And I think for a writer with her second novel, quite impressive. What about everybody else online?
Yeah, Lisa said, I liked the book because it kept me hooked, but I thought it was a little too predictable. What part did
Yeah.
you think was predictable, Lisa?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm not going to preempt her response,
Right.
but that was what I was kind of getting at. Like, it felt like the ending felt cliche. It was confusing, but it felt cliche.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, well, that's the most obvious thing that it could be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was looking for something that I couldn't have thought of,
Right.
I wouldn't have thought of that. But
Really?
murder?
What do you mean
They
murder?
pushed the man off the building.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Maybe. We don't know.
No, we know. She only saved her friend.
He fell. He
He
didn't
fell.
get pushed.
And that was Beth's idea.
Beth
like,
Beth
how about
had
we
that.
let-
She
yeah.
was.
Well,
Look. She said even Leah figured out that Nathan was Tom's brother.
Oh, go ahead, Leah.
Wow,
Well, Leah's
Leah.
smart.
Super
Stop
smart. Yeah.
it. She gets 1,600 on SAT and she's in 5th grade. But go ahead, Leah.
Awesome, Leah.
Yeah, Leah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that
We'll
4th
4th grade. Sorry, 4th grade.
Fourth grade. Oh, fourth grade. Oh,
Right.
even better. That's nice. The future is bright. So I mean, I'm thinking about. Let's go back.
Mhm.
So we talk about characters. So
Yes.
what did you think about the characters? Was there a character you liked, character that was really like unbelievable, a character that you identified with? Just think about the plot.
I gravitated toward Beth.
I knew you were going to say that. I was like, she's going to say Beth, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, okay. Because she was so mysterious. Like, why does she not want to interact with Alice's husband? Like, I'm like, what is she hiding? She is hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
And so it made like, that's kind of where a lot of my theories were going, is what her connection was to the two of them. I knew it was something more than just she happens to be a friend who hasn't met her husband.
Right.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
You know, you knew there was something deep there, and that it had to do with the two men that each of them had previously been with. And you knew that they were all going to be connected together somehow.
Right.
So that's, I mean, to me, she was the most interesting character. And she was like a survivor, you know, because you knew that her mother had been defrauded out of that money, but yet she still picked herself up and like figured out a way to make a way for her and her daughter.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
she's a survivor.
I was
she's secretive.
so mad at Beth. I was like, I can't believe she talked her mother into giving away this money. She
Really?
Like, she had all these doubts in her head. Like, I don't know where this man lives. And so if you have doubt means don't. What are you doing? Like, mess up your own life, but don't bring your mom into it.
All
You
that
know what
work
I mean?
your dad did.
All that work, like, you just
All
messed
of
up the
that.
whole family,
The whole
everything.
family.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're on
She had good
we're on the
intentions.
YouTube.
Yeah,
She had
like
good
love,
intentions.
for love.
Yeah, for love.
love.
For physical love.
Yeah,
Physical love.
physical.
We'll call it that.
Love. We'll call
Like-
it love.
Like, honey.
She was too trusting.
I think
I feel naive. She was too naive, and she didn't have enough confidence in herself to listen to her own doubts.
And for
So-
someone who had such love and closeness with her family, I think wanting to please her mother was a driving force too in her trying to find what she believed was the right, best, perfect kind of love, because her mother was seemingly approving of this person that also, I think, put her into the the queue, so to speak, of trying to like lock this like relationship up and move it along. But she missed, a lot of the clues and clear signals
Yes.
when
Yes.
people try to isolate people. I mean, it was like a classic, can you meet my, mother who has dementia?
Right.
Lo and behold, this woman is, wasn't even,
mother.
and she was screaming because she was not out of her.
He's here.
He's here.
Oh,
he's
right,
here.
right, yeah.
She knew that wasn't her son, right? She was scared.
But how did she know who he was?
Well,
She was like, he's here. Like,
Right.
as in she did recognize him
Right.
somehow as somebody.
He probably scammed her out of money
Who
sometime.
knows?
Because they never, was that one of the loose ends?
It was one of the
was like,
loose ends.
I was like, who?
Right.
How did she even recognize
Or
him?
did he assault her at some point? He, schmoozed his way in past
Yeah.
that nurse.
But I gotta say, besides the lady in dementia, if a man tries to make you meet his mama too fast,
right.
that right there is a warning
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
Mm.
You
Warning.
need to pick up on
Warning.
it.
And then
Yes.
the lost dog, and all of a sudden he becomes the
Yes.
hero.
Yeah, that was suspicious.
So very suspicious.
And every time he's around, something bad happens. I accidentally left my door unlocked.
Right.
I got hit by a car.
I got hit by a
Yes.
car in Spain. Don't come though.
Right.
And then, the other piece was, I love you, and her being scared to say I love you. I thought, well, when you feel like that, and then for me, the icing on the cake was the barbecue. Can we go see my mother instead of going to your friend's?
I know.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And then you don't go to your friend's barbecue, and then you're like, okay, well, maybe we'll go see my mother.
Right.
And you realize you feel like
Right.
you're moving too
You
fast.
narcissist.
Yeah. Well, let's go to my mom's house.
I
That'll
mean,
make
my
it better.
mom.
That'll make it better than going to my friend's house. I thought that was weird.
Yeah.
Isolating her, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, we hear nothing more of Beth's coworkers, friends. We don't even know what she did with that job, because, of course, the story shifts back to Alice. So I was gonna, think about.
Well, both of them. It shifted back to both of them.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking when we get all that information, when we find out Beth's mom needs him, and they show the bourbon and the white wine, he assumed that Beth's parents had that kind of, something interesting.
But he said he already knew. He already looked her up. He knew all about her.
Online that
Yeah.
her father was a restaurateur and all of that. Yeah, he knew what she had, and dating sites are so good for basically like scamming people.
But look what she put on a dating site. She opened
She
herself
did.
up to that. Like, I just
She
want to have a
did.
good time. Like, girl, that's what's
Yeah.
going to come your way.
I don't think she put that. Didn't her friend?
Well, her
put
friend,
that?
but she still allowed that to be put
Yeah,
for her
for her
profile.
profile.
So
Yeah.
what dude's going to take you seriously if you just want to have a good time?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
Elisa said Tom was my favorite character because in the end he was still a good guy.
Oh, Tom.
Yes.
Yeah. His name was able to be rested.
But
in
he
peace.
really did die, right?
He
He's
really
dead.
He really
Supposedly.
I mean, she made up Beth made up the Facebook page.
Right.
Used Alice's
We
phone
don't know,
to
but
create all that.
Nathan said my brother's just like me. Like you think he's
Yeah.
so good, he's just like. So we don't really
We don't
know.
know.
I mean,
Yeah.
dude just
It's like
disappeared.
cut from the same cloth.
Claw.
Yeah, he did say that.
He's probably
Yeah.
somewhere else with his own family.
He just maybe he didn't get caught, right?
Right.
He didn't get
Yeah.
caught up.
But he left her money at least.
He
He
did.
didn't take from her.
He did. So that's why I kind of agree that he probably was better than Nathan wanted.
But I
him to
mean,
be.
are
Daniel,
we
which is real name.
Are we picking characters because we respect them or because they're interesting? Like I'm
That's a
saying
good question.
Beth was interesting to me. She was the most mysterious.
Yeah.
And I think she was ultimately picked herself up the most and became like the one who helped save the day.
Right.
Oh, I still don't trust her.
You don't trust her because.
But
Because a minute ago you were still trying to get money from my husband,
Right.
regardless of your why or what happened. You were still trying to blackmail him. So
And
that's who
knowing
you
that
are.
it came from, it was really
You were
my
trying to
money.
get from me.
Yeah.
well,
So-
but I guess what I'm saying is, are you picking a character because you can imagine being their friend?
I would never be best
Or-
friend. I would never want her in my life.
But that's
So, I would want
point.
to undo
Like,
my
what's your
introduction.
how
And
are
Elisa said she was disgusted with how dumb Beth was too. Like she made me angry. Her character.
But that's it. That's a good character that can evoke emotion. That's a good.
And so the
Absolutely,
character
that's why I don't like
development.
her.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean-
I'm not saying okay. Would I want to be best friend? No. But
Right.
to me, she was the most interesting. character.
It was a page turner. Finding
Yes,
out more
like
about
what the heck
Beth
is
is
going on
thinking
with
about.
Beth?
Yeah. I
And
agree.
what's going to happen to her?
Yeah.
Like what other trouble she going
I
to get
could care
herself
less
in?
if she fell off the doggone roof.
You didn't like
But
her.
okay,
Oh.
remove
like
her
her,
from the
didn't care.
story. What else left is interesting?
No, I'm just saying. For me, I don't like her. Period. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you're fine with what you like.
Yeah.
For me, I don't like the.
But
No,
girl.
I
no.
feel
I'm
like-
saying what is interesting in the story without her.
I
That's
found
what
the
I'm
whole
curious.
story interesting. And I don't
About-
want to remove anybody. I just don't like her.
But what about Alice? Did you think she was like?
I liked Alice. I thought she was nice and she had a heart and she tried and she picked herself up. I mean, I couldn't imagine losing someone so like right away.
Yeah.
My husband's on a ski trip and
Yeah.
now he's lost.
Right.
And like, how
You're
do you go
telling
to
your
bed and I
daughter-
wonder if he's gonna call me or like,
Yeah.
are they gonna find his skeleton somewhere? And
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I thought
can
the
imagine.
the sad part. I was driving on the highway, and the part where she has to like sit with her mom, like her mom's holding her, so she can tell her daughter that like
oh,
dad's
yeah.
not
I
coming
can't
back.
imagine.
I thought that was pretty tough. And then the whole self-medication piece. So this is the other thing. How do we really
With Alice.
with Alice?
Yeah.
The wine, but it was like Nathan knew,
Oh,
slash Daniel knew again about the victim.
Yes.
He knew she would
Yes.
be devastated
He preyed
for
on
years
her.
with that loss.
Right.
Because I think he knew his brother was a good spouse, a good father, and then
Yeah.
that created like this big void,
Right.
you know? And I think for me, that part I felt really, really bad about Alice. And I was really proud of her when she washed down the wine bottles. Like I could see.
But she didn't do that with the medication. She didn't do that with the
she
pills.
didn't do it with the pills, but she did
Which
it
Which
with
I thought was
pills.
interesting.
she kept them.
kept
them.
She looked at them. Yeah, she did look at them.
Mhm.
But I was thinking though, the alcohol versus a prescription, not the worst thing. Not the worst thing. Because in terms of controlling it, I thought that was not it showed that she wasn't completely cured. She thought she might need a little bit of something to take the edge off, but that she didn't need the alcohol, which made her really blurry and foggy. That's how she described it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like laying in bed for 5-6 days, I thought, oh my gosh, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like some of that getting it together.
They take a bubble bath.
Well, that could
Well,
be.
but she was describing depression. She was describing
for
like
sure.
waking up in the morning and feeling like the weight of the day is too heavy
Yeah.
to lift the pillow off or
Yeah.
to lift the covers off and get out of the
Yeah.
bed. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's real.
I thought it was
Some people
I thought it
suffer
was
from-
very well described.
Yeah.
And it was situational.
Yeah.
So Elise said, no, let's believe in true love. So she's saying, let's believe that Tom is a good guy. I understand, Elisa. We should believe in true love. Ooh. We should. We all should.
Yes.
Yes.
we
Yes,
should.
for the YouTube. Wait,
Uh-oh. Sound, we might have an issue. Okay, so Elisa, why did the summary give it away? it says something about who is Beth really. Was that Keisha's summary or the back of the book?
Oh, the description. I don't know. I just said I didn't trust Nathan. I knew I said
Maybe
that.
it was on Goodreads. Maybe on Goodreads it said that.
Yeah. But I think you want to read a little bit more into the story when you're hearing about these characters, and they're all flawed. I mean, that's a part of the good.
Excuse me. Let me get my dog.
That's a part of the. That's a part of the. Like good writing. I think that you kind of think beyond what you see in the character, and you start thinking about their own development. I do think that. So I feel like with her, with Beth, with Alice, you can see the struggle that Beth has to provide for her daughter, the struggle Alice has to stay in the present. And really, when she goes to Japan, she is really, truly trying to make this concerned effort to be a better wife, to this man, even though she still had some doubt about him. That did happen. She had already seen the earring, which we now know was planted. By Beth.
That's what I'm saying.
She had the flowers.
She was very strategic.
Very strategic. By Beth. And then to be the friend on the receiving end to quell her issues, as she's doubting her, doubting her husband. I thought that was very interesting.
It was. I mean, so I'm going back to my notes. At around page 96 out of 290, I wrote down who slashed Alice's tires? Beth. It was like you could already so back to your point, Elisa, about it being predictable.
Yeah.
So I also wrote down, did Tom let Tyson the dog out to run away so he could find him and be the hero?
Right.
Again, that was as it was happening, I'm like, okay, this is probably what's going on. So I think that's what I did. I like that it was causing me to do that, but I didn't like that I was right, with a lot of the stuff that I was expecting it to be true.
You could have used another twist or turn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I understand that. I do understand that.
Yeah.
I was just talking about just the different characters, Alice and Beth. It would have been nice to, Beth was soothing Alice as a result of all these questionable things that are happening with Nathan. The earring, the flowers. She's telling Beth about him, And then of course, they had the big blow up because Beth gets Alice to that place where they're on social media looking. Oh well, what's his name? Let's just see if he's not alive.
Yeah, Beth wasn't good. I mean, even running, she said, I'm busy, I gotta go. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
Respect my time. And you want to get in my business.
Right.
None about that woman seemed right to me.
She was, and so broken by obviously this family loss. But, before we came on air, I was saying, Beth never had a chance to, come back together with her mother.
Yeah, her mom
and
died.
So that her mom died and they didn't speak. And that's a lifelong, issue and challenge. So that's really sad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and I think people let stuff like that happen over less.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But money destroys.
Oh yeah, money absolutely.
Yeah. But
money.
Agreed. Yep.
Yes.
But to have your only child, and to be that mad that you can't, kind of get over that.
I think it's real.
For sure. And like you said, for less. I agree. Yeah, so I just thought that was very interesting. What did you think about the girls? The little daughters?
Which ones? Olivia and Sophia. Well, I didn't like how Olivia got basically framed by Beth.
Yeah. That mom was a bad mom. Even the mom. What's the mom? Alice? She was horrible. The lady told you, I'm not going to tell you who reported it. Yeah. But then you treat that little girl like that and send her in her room and so you're bullying her for supposed to being a bully. How about sit down and have a conversation? How do we talk to people? How do we treat people?
Right.
But I didn't like that part of the book.
I think a lot of people struggle with these things.
Parenting.
Yeah,
I really think
that was rough.
People struggle.
That was. I'm like, that's horrible. How do you do that to that little girl?
I guess because when you think back, to when you were a kid and how your parents might treat you about certain things. I'll just speak for myself. I can remember times where I was like, really? Can't you give me a little credit here? Or can't you, treat me like I'm smarter than this? Or can't you know that I'm more mature than you're assuming? You know what I mean? So I can definitely see how common it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just.
And my dad was a counselor, so he would always talk to me. Everything was a conversation. It was a talk. It was an understanding. My mother would get more fiery. I remember being upset, okay, I see I messed up,
Right.
but my
Mhm.
intent was not to.
Right.
Like I wrote my name with tar on the porch. Looking back, yeah, that was a horrible idea. But with tar.
Well, how come it was accessible to you?
Because they were filling in the lines on the street. So I went out with a stick and I wrote my name,
How
not
old were you?
realizing I don't even
It
know.
probably never came up, did it?
No, my mom was like, I think I got beat over that. Or something.
Oh.
Like I remember it was traumatic to me. Like I can't believe you're this angry over like a mistake.
Yeah.
Like find out my intent.
I had
find
something
out
like that.
Yeah.
right, and you don't forget that.
Digging a hole in a bar of soap.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're wasting the soap.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, so as a mother, I'm sure you do too. Like, okay, so I'm going to talk to my child first. I'm going to find out their intent. I'm going to find out the why, and we're going to talk about. Like, I don't remember the last time I hit my kids. I think they were like 5 and 7. They laughed at me. So after that, it's like, okay,
We're all done with this.
we're all done with it.
Yeah. I mean, my parents were definitely like fiery. They went to fire. Like there was like no communication at all. So I at all, like zero. As they were spanking, they were like giving a sermon. So it was like, okay, this is not processing. So I was the oldest of 3, so it certainly was like supposed to be the example. Yeah. And then my one sister framed another sister, like my little sister framed the middle sister, wrote her initials in the dining room table. We all got a spanking because nobody would give up the tapes. And it's like, I mean, there was so much, it was so much. So I definitely, as a mother, have tried to be a communicator. I'm not always great at it though, because your life experiences drive,
Right.
they drive some of the things that you do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so Elisa is saying that she would never believe someone over her daughters, but she also respects the sister bonding that you described.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. To this day, yes, it's very interesting. But yeah, I know that's it's hard. It's hard, and I think Alice struggled. She wasn't like 100%, feeling great either, and she was suffering from depression. I think that
major
trauma, loss. I mean, the love of her life, and that whole idea, like you said, you're like still waiting for a phone call, maybe, or you just find his way home.
And then what do you do? Like, okay, I'm married to this one, but this one was supposedly dead, but now he's really alive.
Right.
Like, I'm sure she had to go through that. Like, do I trade this one in? And I know she would have traded him in because she was really in love with Tom. She was not in love with Nathan.
No, he was like a filler.
Yes.
Divorce.
And her mother had tried to
stabilize her.
And her mother tried to caution her that she was moving a little too fast.
Yep.
And Nathan did everything he could do to lock and
Yes,
load.
he
And what did he
did.
do? 3 months into a relationship, now she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And so that was his intent: lock and load. Right.
Lock and load.
Listen,
Like, what
from
if-
the beginning.
Yeah. Like, that's horrible.
From the
And then what
beginning,
marriage
totally.
do you honor?
Right.
Like, now I'm married to 2 of y'all legally.
Right. Yeah. Because I don't know. I don't know how that works. You get a death
How would that
certificate
work? Yeah, how
for
does that
missing
work?
body?
But they didn't find the body.
Well, no, I don't. I know
No,
for
they
missing
didn't.
person. Do you get it? How do you get that? I don't know.
Well, I guess here's the main reason I had problems with Alice. It was less about the relationship stuff. It was more about how she ran her business. Or I should say didn't run her
That
business.
too.
Yeah.
You let this man come in and run your business.
Run, and your legal counsel said prenup.
Right.
You decide not to,
Yeah.
and then when she calls the lawyer, and she's like, "Well, you were in love. You were in love.
You were in
Yeah.
love. And
I
I
took
thought that
that
was
as
that.
And then-
Like, hello, if you're calling the lawyer, you're still not.
Yeah,
in love.
you're not in love.
Right.
You're still doubting. You have physical evidence.
Right.
Revealing all
Like,
of this.
I mean, she's going to spend $1 million on property in Japan and not like the way she went into that meeting and just signed stuff. I'm like, this is not how
Right.
people in business operate.
Yeah.
at all.
Not at, like over a lot less. You would carefully
Yes,
review
yes.
documents.
And in another country.
And then,
Yeah,
and then
it's
do you
just-
notice when they're like, yeah, she'd won many design awards. That's how I found you. That's how Beth found her, with her receiving a design award.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
how savvy were you really?
Yeah.
I thought that was.
Well, I mean, but I think what that shows, unfortunately, is less research on the part of the author. Like, I don't think the author, unfortunately, knew that piece well enough to really make it credible.
I see.
So I think it was like this.
Or are some people that reliant on a partner?
It just felt too wishy-washy to me. It didn't feel real. Like some of the other parts of the story felt very real, like the depression stuff, the way the depression was described. This piece about how she ran her business felt like, it just, like your name is on that business. It's AT Designs, Alice and Tom.
No,
Designs.
Alice was special.
Yeah.
I mean, she.
Yeah. I hear you.
There were too many signs that your husband was cheating on you for you to just be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
You
well,
see?
I wonder later.
But or did you care? I mean, then how much did you really care? Because she was still questioning
right.
at one point whether or not she was going to have
cared.
Olivia every other weekend say, "Oh, your daddy will get you next."
And she
weekend.
almost slept with that man in Japan.
Oh, the pilot.
Over like nothing.
The pilot.
Supposedly,
Well,
no matter
of
for a
course.
drink. I mean,
We don't really know what he was.
we don't. Yeah.
Well, he did have the uniform on the next morning.
You can buy that on
Right.
Amazon. It's like, who else is?
Well, but she was taking what do you call it? She had agency in that situation because it
Yeah.
would have been her choice, and she decided to abandon ship
Yes.
when she was on her way and then
Yes.
ran into.
But
Nathan.
again, she's
Yeah.
doing things too quickly, too hastily,
Right.
without
She didn't
thinking.
think about
she's not
it.
worried
Both
about
of them did, and so it's like,
Agreed,
why
yeah.
does Sandie make these? Why does she want these women
to be victims.
to come across this way?
Well, so
Like,
let's
what
talk
does
about
that
so
say?
yeah, but what does that?
And like a weak business person as well.
But I think that's something we should take a look at in terms of society and how women are viewed.
Yeah.
And I think that it creates this forum for discussion about what it is that women need to do more of. They need to do more research. They need to rely on what you always say, like your gut. What is your gut telling you?
Yeah.
Be more instinctive. We are
Yes.
not. And what does society tell us to do? Trust others. Trust this handsome man. That there is someone out there who can be everything, and you can have it, all in this other person. I think there's a lesson in a conversation about why Sandie Jones writes about these women
Right.
this way. And then, Beth, let's not ever let a man separate us, come between us. Beth whispers to
Yeah,
her.
but like her readers are mostly women, I would imagine. Like if not
and I think
almost
that's
all.
I think that's why.
It's good. Good
It's-
warnings for women.
I think
they can see themselves in characters.
Yes, I think it's a good discussion.
Mhm.
I mean, I think about, and I'll put myself, I mean, right out there, like, financially, like when I had the, information and the messaging from my own upbringing that like you marry a smart man and that like they pay the bills, they take care of you, they can take care of you. And this is all this, when I'm reading this, like, girl, you need to dig in the bank account. You need to read the fine print. You don't wait till the house is burning. And now you're like, oh, do I have homeowners insurance that covers fire from the microwave burning?
Right.
As an example, right?
Right.
And they're like less extreme things than this. But I think women, we like the the glamour around like reading about characters like this because they're extreme. But when you come down
Supposedly. I met people
like
this.
Well, we know,
Right.
We know.
So I don't know if
like
it's that
this.
extreme.
So to your point, I 100% agree.
Elisa said this book makes you question who you should trust.
Yes, and I think that's so. That to your point about the author, books are about conversation and about idea exchange and about like when we put the mirror up. And I'm saying like in this, I could see myself being a little like Alice, a little bit. And now that's just saying, Keisha, what are things that we can improve on? It's 2019. And I think
it's 2019.
I think when I don't know. Does that make sense? Like,
absolutely.
I think the characters are, can be extreme.
Yeah.
Some we know, we just had a meal. We have meal exchange. We have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
how does that happen?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you, meet someone and then a week later you're meeting mom, and like, oh, I have a new puppy.
Right. I mean, I know I've made mistakes. We all make mistakes.
Right. That's what I mean. Like,
you can read some things.
Right.
Okay, so don't look at what Elisa's lesson learned is, but if you had to say what your lesson learned is from this book, what would you say? And then we'll share what Elisa's lesson learned was.
Sure.
I know you can't see it yet.
I won't say but I can tell y'all right away.
Okay.
Lesson learned.
Don't become friends with people who your kids go to school with. Like you're my child's friend's mother. You're not my friend. Hello, goodbye. No, we're not breaking bread. We're not. All we did together was pick the same school or the same school district. So sorry if you're any of my kids' mom's friends, but you already know we don't break bread together. So it's all good.
That's
Wow.
that's a great takeaway.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Interesting takeaway.
Do you have one?
Mine is back to when you are engaging in building a relationship, there are many more questions to ask versus assuming.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And asking questions is important. And I think for female and male. And so that's what my takeaway is. There are many more questions to ask. And I know that I don't always ask a lot of questions, and I am very inquisitive, but I don't ask a lot of questions up front. So that's my takeaway.
But I also think but I think that's also an indication when you don't ask a question, you ask a follow-up question because you're afraid to find out the answer.
Correct.
So sometimes it's not just the questions we ask, but the ones we don't. And then why don't we ask them? Because
Yes.
I know I don't assume a doggone thing. And sometimes I get in trouble for that.
Correct. Yeah, we're all.
Well, Elisa's lesson was.
Wait, what's yours?
I will share after.
Okay.
You're so controlling.
I have been told that. Today's not the first time. So she learned that we should always be cautious about new people we meet and their intentions.
Yes.
So my lesson learned is that there is great risk associated with investing too much trust in someone prematurely.
Absolutely.
There is great risk associated
Yes.
with putting trust in someone prematurely. Yes.
I concur.
And that goes along with what we're all saying. Look at the intentions. Don't make assumptions. Ask a lot of questions. So basically we're saying we can't give people the benefit of the doubt. That's what we're all saying.
And what I think
I don't know if it's not the benefit of the doubt. Like I don't go in feeling like I can't trust you, but I'm going to look for every sign because, they say it takes years to build trust, but it takes a second to break it. And that's so true. So if I see a sign, I'm going to look, I'm going to inquire. Like if there is an earring in Larry's car, we're going to have a conversation. It's going to be on a plate at dinner. Like, can we talk about this and how it possibly got in your
But
car?
I think people, I guess what I'm saying, like people can take a default position of trusting, like giving somebody a benefit of the doubt. And whereas you start at your highest possible point, and then anything that chips away with that brings you down a notch. And then you have to
I don't start there.
Right.
And see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so basically
positionality
you're saying you're starting somewhere lower than that ultimate high level of trust that somebody can have with you.
I just don't let a lot of people in my inner circle. So.
And I think that's definitely your personality.
But you're also not starting all the way down here.
No, you're a person. I'm gonna love you. Say hi, hello. But we're just at hi, hello.
Right.
Like, if there's something
she goes
that makes,
up. If I start here, and go down.
Yeah, I think I do. I'm probably somewhere in the middle.
I think so. And I think it depends.
It does depend.
So I am like that for everybody.
For everybody.
Oh yes. So it is not the best.
But if you're a man, you start even lower.
For you.
For me.
Right. And I say everybody's that way, men and women.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree.
Right.
You trust even less.
Like I'll trust a female or open up more to a female than a male.
Yeah.
Elisa's saying she's mad at Beth because she planted all those things to make Nathan look like a cheater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that we should not trust women so much.
I disagree.
I disagree. I disagree.
And she said, I hope Alice leaves her.
They don't need to be friends.
They don't need to be friends after this. No. I mean, however, they do share siblings. Their children are siblings.
And
it doesn't
care less.
Yeah, and that came up early. That they were half sisters. That came up we knew that early.
No, we thought it was Sophia.
Oh, and it was Olivia.
And now it's Olivia.
Oh, right.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but still, I mean, I can understand that. You don't have to care about it. I think that and now Beth should feel some kind of whatever she feels. Alice can rebuild. I don't think they need to have dinner.
No.
I don't think they need to, do Christmas together.
Well, I don't think their relationship was that real to begin with. If
I
she
think
never met her husband, it wasn't that
It was
real.
very superficial. It was all Beth angling to get into Alice's life to build that. But
Beth can never be trusted. Elisa, very strong views about Beth.
I agree.
I do too. Beth
cannot be trusted.
Thanks for helping me kill her baby daddy. Goodbye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you. We had that was in common, and we're all done. And you're not getting your money back. Because I didn't steal it.
I had nothing to do with it.
Nothing. I had zero to do with it, and he did it, and that's not my problem.
Right.
What happened to $100,000? Is that gone?
He spent it. He spent it. Beth. I mean,
well, he spent the $20,000 on a credit card, but she put $100,000 on that
agreement.
Yeah, on that agreement.
For the
so what
land.
happened to that?
Well,
I imagine she's going to get it back. She has started the process with the lawyers to unravel that
Unravel,
agreement.
yeah.
So I think she's going to.
and I guess Yorimoto still told Nathan.
Well, because he was the owner of that other business that they were selling.
Right,
to.
divisions or whatever.
Yes.
Well, he was like,
Snake.
Snake.
But Lisa, I wonder why Lisa's gonna blame the woman. Why would you say don't trust the woman?
Lisa, yeah.
Nathan?
The bank did cancel the transaction. She said.
I
And
thought
she
that
didn't
was,
run to
no,
the
that
bank.
was for the millions.
No, it was 100,000 on the line. Oh,
She had already paid that, and then they were going to complete.
Oh, the
where
nine-
she got
okay,
the
right.
rest of the
Yeah, so
money.
that-
You're talking about the full million.
I feel like
She had
yes,
never paid the full million.
exactly.
put something
But that's
down
my
on that.
point. I don't know that she did not cancel the down payment. That already was that they were going to complete. and
Oh
get
yeah,
the full
because they
million.
signed.
And
They
she
went
said,
to
"I'm only
Japan
losing $100,000
versus
I'm
$1
not
million."
losing-
Yeah.
I
Right.
think that's what they're talking about. Greed. I don't
Right,
know.
but Beth, the 150 or whatever that Nathan took, Beth is not going to get that back, and your mom, did lose that money, and that was you just have to
That's
live with that.
messed.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's, maybe.
It happens.
Oh gosh,
Yes,
yes.
yeah.
Of
You know what?
course it does.
Keisha always had a statement. You have to pay to play, right?
You got to.
So she paid for entertainment. She had 10
She
years
did.
of entertainment with Nathan.
She
You
did.
just paid $100,000. I hope you had a good time.
Right,
Mm.
and then like Alex,
That's,
just
a,
check
that's
that
a hard
box
way to look at it.
$10,000 a year, right?
for he did everything for her. Really, she didn't even run her own business. Back to
Right.
your point. I
So
mean, you
maybe
can't
it's
even get an
worth it.
admin for that, Daria.
Right, that is true.
You can't even get an admin
Right, so
for
maybe
that.
actually she won out.
She was insecure.
Right, but
was
he was
insecure.
building her business so he could get the money from it, not
Right.
really for her.
Right.
And of course to make sure that their lifestyle wasn't damaged. But
Mhm.
he wasn't doing it for her; he was doing it for himself.
So how much did Nathan and Beth actually get together? They'd only saw each other that one time at the end, and
In the
that's what
car?
triggered
I
everything.
think so.
I think.
Okay, because
That's
I was
what
just like,
that's what I thought.
I
She
was,
said
what
they
I
never
was,
slept together.
once everything started getting twisted around and revealed,
Yeah.
I was thinking that they had been having. Oh my! I was thinking that they had been having some side thing.
Plans.
Yeah.
Well, that's what.
That's what it
one of my
seemed
notes.
like.
I was like, maybe they're in cahoots together.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then no. But when he dropped that wine glass, I was like, oh, he had
Right.
never
Oh,
seen
then
her.
he knew. Yeah.
He was like,
Yeah.
where did she come from?
Right. How did she
And then
get here?
basically they got in touch and they got in the car the next day and she was like, give me my money, and
Yes.
then that's why she stormed off.
Yeah.
And then basically Alice was watching in the rain and she was like, oh, this has been going on,
Right.
but it hadn't been.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
And then she told the whole story, which was like good. But yeah, I mean, I think that we have to ask many more questions.
Well, and one of the 4 agreements is do not make assumptions.
Right.
Yeah.
So that goes along with that. That's the other
Yeah.
side of it. That's how you can avoid making assumptions. You just ask.
Right.
Be direct.
Oh,
in
my
your
dog's
communication,
acting up.
Yeah. Ask questions.
And go back to your point about the intentions. You can't
Right.
you can't expect that somebody's intentions are, until they prove what they are. Don't
Absolutely. And also, why was she telling her business to somebody you met at the daycare? Like you're out at lunch telling your family business? Like that was nuts.
And then you're like, again,
I
leaving your
remember what else
phone,
was weird to
their
me.
phone unsecured, like all
I
of that.
know.
Like, I mean, I
That
don't
might
know
not
you.
have
It's
made
so
sense.
weird. Yeah. That she lifted the pictures. And P.S. Alice still had pictures of Tom on her phone. How about that?
Well, of course
I
she did, because
know.
that was her dead husband. She loved him. That was her love.
I thought that was a little strange.
Okay. Why did
I
the
don't think it's
mother?
strange.
Why did was it Nathan? No. Yeah. Wait. Whose mother? Who had the mother that was in the facility?
Nobody.
No one.
It was a fake mother.
But I mean,
Nathan.
who pretended that
Nathan.
was Nathan? Right, okay,
Nathan /
Nathan.
Tom.
So Nathan, that mother called Beth Sarah, and she called Tom Frank.
But then we don't know those people.
So it's irrelevant who they are.
Yeah,
probably.
Because
Those were
she's
her
just
real-
some random woman
with dementia.
that he
She
was
dementia.
prying on.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so
I remember the
think
lady
so
got
much
fired
she
for
knew.
letting in random people.
That lady, the cute girl that she was a little flirty.
But it eventually clicked for her that
Beth.
he was not supposed to be there.
when Beth went
No,
back.
the mother, the
Yeah.
the
She
old
was
woman.
in and out of
She was
dementia.
in and out of dementia.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So she was
That's
in and
it,
out
yeah.
of knowing, and then when
Like,
Beth
he's
went
here
back,
again, he's
he's
here again.
here again. It's him,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
she might have been trying to express that there's a weird man, a stranger.
Right.
So when Beth goes back and sees the real son, he's like, "Who are you?
Right.
I'm her son."
Right.
But you've never been to this man's house. You've never,
Yeah.
And that is a warning. Like,
okay, 2 places.
I'm not letting any man to my house from to his, period. End of
Right.
story. Like, I'm done dating, obviously, now, but like, I'm not
Right. When you
I'm
look
not.
back,
You're not coming to my
that's
home.
right.
You know,
Unless
people do this.
People do,
these
but
things.
I would not.
I
do
mean, we
not.
have at least 2 or 3
No,
examples.
yes, we
Correct.
in
do.
our friend group.
We do. However, but we're also different. We're also
We're
different.
so different.
I remember Larry was moving from Maryland
yeah.
to Langhorne, and he was like, "Well, I'm not unpacked yet, so I would invite you here, but I'm not unpacked." I'm like, "Okay, so where do you want to meet? Like, you're not coming here
right.
until I see your home. Like,
Right.
we're just not
Correct.
It's just not.
Yeah, that's
But everybody's different.
everybody's different expectations.
Yeah, I need to be able to call the cops and say he
Right.
lives at this
above
location.
ABC Lane, right?
You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to.
Well, yeah, I mean, but here's the thing: if they do that, they're hiding something.
Absolutely. That's why
But
I'm
for
not.
people that lean toward giving the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
they're going to explain it away in their head.
They
They're gonna
rationalize
explain
everything.
it away.
Oh, everybody.
And it's like takes barely anything
Mhm.
for them to believe that other scenario,
It's
anything
correct.
other than the bad intention that's probably driving that behavior.
But you know the beauty about God, He will let you relearn that lesson until you get it. You will be reintroduced to the same lesson 10 times, 10 different ways until you get it. And then eventually you're like,
And should you have another higher power you believe
That's
in?
interesting.
I think they do the same thing.
right. I mean, that's right. That's
I
right.
do- I believe
do.
so.
You will learn that lesson
Yes.
until you learn that lesson.
So Lisa's like 6 months of dating, and she never went to his house. Dumb.
Right.
Dumb,
Exactly.
like-
Very dumb. Very dumb.
And if he doesn't have a home and you have a home,
Are you really supposed to be together?
right. Like,
Question mark?
Right.
I don't
are
know.
we equals?
Are we
No.
moving towards something? Are we right?
Oh man.
Yeah, this was interesting.
The post-show conversation is going to be
Yeah.
interesting. On this.
So I feel like
Sandie Jones wrote this so women can see their own mistakes.
reflection.
Like, and what was the first mistake?
But I think
I've
she
seen 1,000
empathizes with
mistakes.
them. I
What
think
was
she
the first
empathizes.
mistake?
intriguing. And there is empathy.
I don't empathize.
No. I think as humans, in terms of being empathetic, we understand. We talked about some of our own childhood experiences. We understand what drivers are, right? Why we make some of the decisions. I think again, the characters are colorful enough for us to have conversation about.
Keisha is so diplomatic.
I definitely do have empathy too. Like, I feel bad. Like, they're just dumb. Like, that's why I can never be their friend because I would get angry.
And you would
And
want
it
to
would
walk
be a
away.
visceral, like, I would just be like, want to choke them. And that's not appropriate to do for my friends. So the way
Or
we solve
call
this is
them
just,
and
we're
tell them
not
they're
your
dumb.
friend. Yeah, I might call them and say
Say
you're
they're
dumb.
Yeah.
And then my friend will be hurt for
Hurt.
5 days. And I would have to
Exactly.
apologize.
Correct.
So I would hope that they would not be my friends.
Or maybe that would
Maybe.
maybe that'd be your course of action. But what I'm saying
Maybe.
is that we have to think about these colorful characters as reasons for us to talk about our own behaviors, our own actions, and making improvements for the future.
Good
And
point.
I
Yes.
think to me, that's Sandie Jones's point,
Yes.
and I do appreciate the storyline for us to be thinking about. So
Yes.
yes, she knows her audience. So why do we have these very real behaviors, present day, 2019, when we know that these things can happen? So Alice was opposed a little bit to social media, right?
Mhm.
And her daughter is like the Find My Friends, and she could see where Nathan was, and she
Right.
was like, "Oh,
On the Instagram.
on the
Snapchat,
whatever, on the
Snapchat.
Snapchat."
She's like, is he in the bed?
Right, where
Is there a
he?
little picture
Right,
of him in the
right,
bed?
right.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, then when we feel a little desperate, calling on our daughter to find out where Nathan is, because now you have some hesitation and
Yeah.
doubt. So I thought that was very interesting. I mean, this book was written in 2019, I believe, or 2018.
It
so,
had to be recent because
Yeah, 'cause it was
Snapchat.
Yeah, Snapchat.
But what I'm saying is that also why we use some of the things that we use,
as far as
Like what?
locating people, tracking people. Is there
I
a
don't
reason?
track people other than my kids
Well, Larry
for
and I
safety
and the
purposes.
kids, we try.
I like to know where he. I say he. I'm thinking Javon because he's driving now. But I'd like to know where the kids are for safety.
So if
We have
Yeah.
our whole family on it, like Larry, Kenny, Kai, and myself. We're on it.
So if we
But
were dating, is that
if we're dating, that's not appropriate.
Oh no, it's
Right.
not. No,
Unless we've been dating for
But
like
and
years.
if some person asks you to share your location in that way, I think
You know, I'm not doing
run
that.
the other way.
Yeah.
So it was
Like, yeah.
I'm not doing
was it
that.
appropriate
Unless
though,
you're married.
Well,
Yeah,
so
or
for Alice
very
asking her
close.
daughter where her
Very
husband
close
is.
Oh, I would have totally did that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. to me.
Because that's not your.
Oh, I
that's
see
not
what
your
you're
father.
saying. I see
Yes.
what
I would
you're
only do
saying.
that because that's not your father.
you share
And that's still
right,
wrong. All about everything.
Right.
All about that is wrong.
Right, like that's my
But
point
I
about
would.
the conversation about tracking and not tracking, using social media.
Well, but her daughter told her it was there. So all she's doing is going back to a conversation that they had previously had. Her daughter brought her up to speed. Oh, like, Mom, you didn't know that you can do this? See, look, boom.
Like,
so she's like, hey, where's Daddy right now?
Well, where's
But if Daddy's on
Nathan?
Snapchat, I'm getting on Snapchat. I'll just stalk him myself.
And then when
you know what I'm saying?
and then Sophia says, "Is everything okay?" Like, she clearly knew there was a red.
So then she knew the culture. The culture is
right.
Why are you tracking him like that?
Yeah. Or why do you want to know where he is right now when you when you didn't want to know before?
Right. Yeah. Right.
So the daughter got a little bit tense and a little bit fearful, like, oh, there must be something wrong because you were never worried about it before.
So 2 comments from Elisa. She's saying, this is why women need friends who are honest with each other.
Yes.
Why did Beth have no friends during this time?
Right.
With Nathan or Tom.
Yeah.
She had one.
She
had a coworker.
Who was the coworker?
I don't remember her name, but she had a coworker she was Scottish, and she was her coworker. And she met what Nathan did / Tom at the time. He met her in a bar very briefly.
Huh.
He met her in the bar very briefly, just to show that he wasn't a figment of Beth's imagination. But it was very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But she then extracted herself from her own friendship because she went to love on that man.
Right.
That's what she did. That was Beth's. That was the first mistake of many.
No, there were so many mistakes.
That was the question. What was the first?
There were so many mistakes. I can't imagine the first. It was just a plethora of mistakes.
Think about how many mistakes.
That's my point.
The irony in the title.
The first.
Correct.
Which was the first? I really don't know, Sandie.
Well, if you go way back, could it be the severing of the relationship in Daniel and Tom's family? That was the first
families aren't supposed to be.
That's what set the whole crap in motion.
Figuring out, picking the golden goose child versus the child.
True.
That the father closing this.
True. I had that type of problem in my family. Yes. It does create divide. Yes.
And then you're like, well, I'm going to get Tom back, dead or alive.
Lord, I better warn my children.
That set the wheels in motion for this book.
Yeah, good point, Joanne.
But we found that out in the last 4 or 5 pages of the book.
Right.
Well, I think it was.
But it was
ironic. Well, okay, so applaud Sandie on that. Okay.
You like that,
right? The first mistake got revealed in the last few pages.
Yeah. That was really good. And then it was another first mistake for Beth, putting herself in, like you said, the profile that wasn't really going to garner.
And she claimed high quality. She said she wanted a real relationship, but then you lied on your profile that you just want to have fun.
Right.
So you're already settling for
she attracted something not serious.
Yeah, right. Because that's what she was. So if you're not serious, you're going to attract something that's not serious. So you got played. You went on the merry-go-round because that's what you said you wanted to do. So ride around, girl. Ride around. Enjoy the ride.
Right. And then when there's some technical difficulty, you get jumped off.
Right. Yeah. Well, you want a carnival. You want a carnival ride.
Yeah, you got one, right? Yeah. So
wait. So 2 points. Yeah. So back to the Snapchat for a second. Lisa hates Snapchat for that reason. She doesn't want people knowing her kid's location. But lastly, but not leastly, the other mistake many women make is that they give up their friends when they get a man.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Preach.
Yes.
Yes, Elisa.
Can't do that.
You cannot do that. You still got to go out.
Prioritize.
You still got to go out to Christmas dinners and birthday dinners and Friendsgivings and plays to New York and
dinners and drinks and beer tastings and.
Because you know what, women really
book clubs.
Because women really need the fellowship of other women.
Absolutely.
We really do. Men just need their woman.
Yeah,
you know, men need their woman, and women need the fellowship of other women to feel
whole,
sustained,
and happy and secure. So
I agree. And to tell you, girl, you don't make no sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but I love you.
Right. I love you.
But you crazy. But you crazy.
Like, you need to have some discernment.
Yeah. Or can we go back to the 4 agreements? Can you get that down?
Right.
So we are gonna.
And I learned a new thing. I learned a new thing just this weekend. If someone does not look you in the eyes when they're saying hello, then you might need to worry about them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh, that's all. Eye contact is
great point.
The eyes are the windows to the soul. Ooh. If somebody is hiding their windows. Don't trust the soul.
Okay, there we go. See, I just learned that lesson. So
I love that.
Okay.
Love it. Okay, we'll add that to our notes. All right. So we're gonna go. We have a couple things before we go. Let me just remind you.
YouTube cuts us off.
I know. So our next YouTube Live the Book is December 12th, and we are reading. Ladies, are you forgetting?
No, we're waiting for you.
Okay. Okay, so
I'm like, what
our
are we reading?
we're
What are we
reading we're reading Landline by Rainbow Rowell, and it is a holiday themed book. It's been
Why do
on
you sound apologetic?
no, because it's holiday themed.
Okay.
It's holiday themed because we were trying to do something for the holidays. Rainbow Rowell, and we'll be back on the 12th at 9:00 p.m.
The 12th?
Eastern.
Oh,
the
that's plenty of time.
The 12th of December. Listen, if you are
12.
12.
And it's our 12th episode.
Right.
Oh!
And we'll have our ugly sweaters.
Oh, that'd be
So,
fun. Please wear yours. And
wear
then you
yours?
can maybe comment with a picture. or
And
something.
here I want
Can they
to
do
speak
that?
about.
I don't know.
No, can they email us on our Live the Book email? If
Yes.
if you take a picture and email us your ugly sweater, I feel like there will be a treat involved.
Oh,
for
we
you.
can do that.
I totally can
Yes.
do that. We can
Live
totally.
the book at comcast.net.
She'll put it in the notes.
And we'll put it in
Yes.
the notes. But you send us a picture of your ugly sweater,
Yes.
and we will get in touch with you with a surprise.
I
love
think
that.
everybody gets a prize. I feel like everybody's gonna get a prize.
I think so. I'm pretty easy around surprises.
Yes.
I agree. So we're gonna go have some lemon drizzle cake now. You remember Beth's mom? She used to make lemon drizzle cake before she stopped speaking to her daughter. So we're gonna go.
Daria
ahead and
made
do
it
that.
homemade.
Homemade.
No, I
She
did
put it
not.
in a container.
No, I did not.
She
Don't
did.
believe. No,
She did.
you see the tag for $19.99.
No, she put it in a container. It's homemade.
There we go.
So listen, everyone, have a great rest of your week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
And don't
Thanksgiving.
forget
To
live
live
the
the
book. Bye, everybody.
Bye.